Usually at night, I think about him the most. Like, how many more days till he comes home? What's he doing there right now?
My husband, Mark, went on his first deployment back in May 2004. He didn't return home until December 2005. That was a very long time. Eddie was 3 at the time, turned 4 while he was gone. I had the triplets while he was gone. And so when he came home, it was chaos. We had figured one deployment was enough, but he had a job to do, so off he went again with 5 kids at home because we had Jonathan. When Mark left, their life kind of just went kaboom.
They have their marching orders. The 181st Infantry from armories in Worcester, Gardner, and Cambridge, 670 soldiers total, are heading for Afghanistan. 6,000 people filled Worcester Soldier Stadium.
For the first time in our nation's military history, our armed forces are filled with men and women who are parents, 40% of them. This is an unprecedented number and represents hundreds of thousands of parents who are separated for long periods of time from their partners and from their children. Massachusetts military families have a much more complex experience of deployment because they are living in civilian communities for the most part.
We're all reservists or National Guardsmen typically who get deployed, so we don't have that infrastructure in place to take care of families and that kind of family support group that you might have in some of the big traditional states like Texas and Virginia where they have large military bases, so the families are kind of on their own.
They tend to be older servicemen and women with dependent children, and many of them did not expect to be deployed. They have very well-established civilian employment positions that are often disrupted by the call to serve.
Until you go through it, you don't understand it. You're not part of a base community. You're out here alone, or at least you think you're alone.
I think you just kind of live in your world and assume that you're the only family that does the National Guard. Everybody says thank you and everybody, you know, appreciates what you're doing, but it's still kind of isolating.
Hi, Mrs. Sands. How are you? My name is Jennifer Flewelling. I'm the principal at the North Beverly Elementary School in Beverly, Massachusetts. Last September, we had a brand new family in the Coast Guard that moved from the West Coast to here. I actually connected with the mom the other day.
Through other conversations, very quickly after that, we realized that we had other military families and students who had military connections, nephews, neighbors, you know, maybe older siblings.
Okay. We sat down and said, it's very funny that all of a sudden this has all popped up for us. I think we could do a lot of good, but, you know, what do you think we can do?
Jen Flewelling came over to me and said that they were talking about organizing this group and would I be interested. And it was the holidays, Mark was leaving in a month, and I think I burst out crying.
Go, 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 go! I'll see you all at library!
Emotions were just very high then.
You know, when you're deployed and you're a soldier, you can control your environment overseas in Iraq, but you can't control what's going on back home. So certainly, you know, I had some concerns.
All right, have a great day.
And it just was comforting to me that the school was going to take the initiative to get involved and help Sophia during the deployment.
I'm going to shoot for the American Legion.
We decided we had to organize ourselves, and so that's when we started with our ongoing board meetings. We brought an agenda to the table, and question one was, what are we? And I think it may have been Lisa Paracella said, what about Fort Beverly? And it just stuck.
Maybe we can put together a newsletter.
The more we talked, we came to the conclusion that we could really have an impact in the lives of kids and their families.